this Cheney Languages Takeaway video about what to revise and how to revise for the reading and listening exams in languages. Now, this video is useful for anyone studying languages at Cheney because we use the same exam board, AQA, for all the different languages. And this is the first Cheney Takeaway video that features students, so it's not just going to be me rattling on, you will see some students demonstrating some revision techniques. So the first question is what to revise. It's very hard to know what to revise when so many different subjects come up when you're studying a language. Now, the exam board helps us out by telling us that there are 4 main topic areas that we need to know about. And the first of these is lifestyle. So essentially that boils down to healthy living and also your relationships with your friends and family. The second topic area is leisure, which essentially boils down to what you do in your free time on the weekends, after school, and what you do on your holidays. Topic area number 3 is home and local environment. That means your house, your town, your region, and also the environmental problems that might come up in your region and what you can do to help them. The fourth topic area is your work and education. So your school, what you do in your school, what your plans are for the future, for your career plans, and also being able to understand people talking about their jobs. Now, the other thing you have to remember is that about these 4 topic areas, the exam board tells us that you need to understand information and opinions about them. This means that you need to know, be able to recognize what words like fantastic, great, wunderbar, fantastique, estupendo, what all those words mean. And also the words for negative opinions. You need to know what those mean. So you might create your own list of opinion words, or you go onto the AQA website and use the opinion word list that's part of their vocab list in the specification. The other thing to remember is that to get a C grade at GCSE, you need to distinguish between the past, the present, and the future. So you need to know your verb forms. You need to be able to tell the difference between I went, I go, or I am going, and I will go. And you need to be able to recognize time expressions. Last weekend, every weekend, next weekend. So now you know what to revise. How do you do it? Well, the first step is to get hold of a vocab list, and you should all have something like this. That's the German one or Spanish one, and if you don't, please get in touch with the school, your teacher, or me to ask for one. Alternatively, you could use the vocab list, which is part of the specification on the AQA website. So you've got your vocab list. How do you revise? How do you get these pages into your head? Well, the most important thing that I can tell you is that you need to revise actively and, if possible, with other people. Why actively? Because the more you do with the language, the more you process it, the more you use it to do different things, the more that you will be able to remember it. Why with other people? Because it's a language. It's meant for communicating. The more that you can revise with other people, the funner it will be and the more enjoyable the revision will be. So, how do you revise? What do you do? One old favourite is to use the look, cover, write and check technique. But that really comes to life when you then go over that vocabulary with someone else. Here's an example.
How do you say a tie? Eine Krawatte. How do you say a new jacket? Eine neue Jacke. How do you say some new socks? Neue Socks. No, that's not right. It's got an EN on the end. Neue Socken. Yeah, that's right.
The great thing about that video was that the girl who was doing the checking of the vocabulary actually doesn't know any German, well, hardly any German, but she had the vocab list in front of her, so she could tell if the girl who was being tested was getting it right or wrong. Okay? Now, another technique that you might use is mind maps. What you do with a mind map is you take a topic area, such as, let's say, holidays. You write that in the middle of your piece of paper, and then from that middle, you have lots of different lines coming off, which are the subtopics. So for holidays, they might be what? Transport, activities, food and drink, accommodation. At the end of those lines, you write down the individual vocabulary that you need to know. So for example, at the end of the transport line, you might have by car, by plane, by train, by pogo stick, whatever you like, whatever you think is going to be useful in the exam. So that's another thing you can do, mind maps. However, my favorite technique is to write the English that you need to, for the terms that you need to know on one side of a piece of card and the foreign language on the other. I like it because it's active, it gets you doing something, it gets you using the language, and also you can use those cards when you're revising with friends. Here's a student from Cheney to explain how you get started.
Right, so to start making flashcards, you take a bit of plain A4 paper and then you fold it in half. Like so, and then you fold it in half again. And again, so you've got a square about that big, and if you open it up, then you've got 8 little rectangles. And then you can either cut them or tear them up to make little cards like this. Then you write. Then you take the grammar booklet and you go to a section you don't know, like say shopping, and you write a German word that you don't know on one side and then the English translation on the back.
Twice, 3 times. Look at that, even I can do it. Now once you've got those cards, you sit down with the friends and you take it in turns to turn over the card if you can say what the English translation is. Go.
Auto. Gebäude. Schwester. Schwein. Meerschweinchen. Katze.
Bruder.
Okay. Art.
That one's...
The best bit comes when you turn it into a game. One student takes all the cards, reads out the foreign language word, and whoever can translate that first gets the card and gets the point.
Car. Auto.
Yeah.
Art.
Kunst.
Oh, building.
Gebäude.
It has to go to the winner.
Französisch.
Brother.
Bruder.
Homework.
Hausaufgaben.
Sister.
Schwester.
Child.
Kind.
Cat.
Katze.
School. Dog. German. Deutsch. Guinea piggy.
Milchfisch.
Piggy piggy. Aeroplane.
The other key tip that I can give you is that you need to revise intelligently. So what does that mean? Well, first of all, you need to understand what revision is. Revision is re-seeing. It's seeing again and again what you need to learn. Okay, so you need to look at words. Studies have shown perhaps 20 times before you have learned them. The other thing to say is don't waste time. Don't waste time looking again at the things you know. Focus in on the things that you think are going to be useful and the words that you don't know. Look for patterns. Yeah? If you're learning a language, the more patterns you can see, essentially what you're doing when you're seeing patterns, you're processing the information. That'll help you learn it. Set yourself targets. Say, in the next 20 minutes, I'm going to learn these 10 words. Be really precise with yourself about what you're going to learn. That also brings me to how long you should study for. 20 minutes and then a 10-minute pause. 20 minutes of hard work, really concentrating on what you're doing, and then 10 minutes of playing air guitar and dancing around the room, whatever you'd like to do. Finally, choose the revision technique which is best for you. Whether it is, you might be a visual learner, so it might be making mind maps. You might be an auditory learner, so it might be about recording yourself on your MP3 player, saying the words that you need to revise. Finally, don't forget all the great websites that are out there that can help you learn. At Cheney, we've got a subscription to Linguiscope, and you know that the username is Cheney, and you should all know the password, but it's changed recently. There's a 21 at the end of it now, so it's whatever it was, those 4 letters, and then 21. Really good for learning vocabulary. You've also got Kia, you've got the BBC Languages website, you've got GCSE Bite Size, and you've got Languages Online. All of them really useful. Look at them, have a look at them. So that was it, how to revise and what to revise for the GCSE reading and listening exams. I'll see you in August, if I don't see you before, opening your envelopes and looking at your A-star grade. Bye-bye.